we're going to welcome February today because February is the month of love. And I thought it would be fun for us to celebrate love today. So I'm going to actually be creating on this beautiful shiplap wooden heart. It measures, you guys, it measures about 9.5, I think, by about, I'm sorry, 9.5 this way by about 9 inches. It's a great size, really fun. It could be its own little sign or in an easel, or even cute to add on into a wreath, something like that. So we're going to celebrate love today. And I want to show you the napkins I'm going to be using. This is going to be a napkin art project. So these are the napkins I'm using. And the reason I want to show you these is because I'm going to also celebrate love today and spread the love with you with these napkins. So let me explain that here in just a minute. So this, my heart is going to say, here's to love, laughter, and happily ever after. I have this beautiful rose napkin. This one is got all kinds of images on it, different little words and images all throughout on this napkin. Love this napkin. And then I'm also going to be using a portion of this napkin. Okay, so I'm spreading the love today because we decided anyone that purchases a shiplap heart is going to receive this little mini napkin bundle with their purchase. So we're going to spread the love today by sharing my love of napkin art. Okay, so anybody that purchases a shiplap heart, we're going to send these out, send you out our little mini love bundle. Okay, yeah, they're so pretty. If you're in the Napkin Club, I think you have all of these napkins except for this one. This is a different one. This is one that we're supposed to get, but we couldn't get enough of. So that's one, but I think you may have the rest. And those of you that are going to watch this come together, I want you to know that what I'm using today is really just going to be portions of the napkin. So you're going to get the entire napkin in the free gift, the free love little love bundle, love mini bundle. So you'd be able to make additional things with these napkins or additional hearts. Okay, so I'm kind of pre-cut a few things here. We'll talk a little bit more about what we're doing, and I want to show you some other things I'm going to be using. Okay, so I'm going to change my screen here just a second. I think it's going to turn out really pretty. One of the things I pulled out of my stash were some lace, some ribbons, golds, whites, and creams. Golds, whites, and creams, kind of what I have here. I even have some cording there. I may use the cording for a hanger for this heart. I am going to be using Mod Podge matte today. And I'm going to be using Country Chic paint today, vanilla frosting. I'm using vanilla frosting because this is going to have kind of a, it's got a romantic kind of vintagey feel to it. And I think a warmer white is going to be really, really pretty with this combination of napkins. So that's why I'm going with vanilla frosting today. And then over here, I pulled from my stash this morning a variety of flowers. Do you guys have flowers in your craft stash? You may have some pretty pinks and whites and some sparkly flowers. I just kind of pulled together a few different flowers from my stash that I thought might look pretty to include on this heart. Okay, so this will be great maybe for you to use some of those flowers. I love flowers. I think they're so pretty, and they're really pretty to add some dimension to our projects. Okay, does that sound good to you? Yes, I'm going to pretend you're all shaking your head yes. I don't know about y'all, but I am tired today. I think it's just the combination of just, traveling, all the overstimulation of Vegas. Had some business trainings there. Those were pretty intense, in a good way, and yeah, so I think it's all kind of starting to hit me today. So I did come with some extra caffeine. Mm. So you may see me taking a swig of that throughout our time together this morning. All right. But crafting always gets me happy, gets me waking up, gets me, excited about the day. So that's what we're going to jump into this morning. All right. Now, I have my cute little love sweater on. Several of you asked me about this sweater. I wore it to market. And you guys were like, where'd you get your sweater? All the things. This sweater actually came from Framed. It's the same company that I have my t-shirt subscription through, Framed with by Sarah. And so that's where the sweater came from. And I have gotten so many compliments on this sweater. So I wanted to wear it again today. I want to wear it as much as I can before Valentine's Day. I think I could get by with wearing this really, for all of February and maybe even longer. We'll see. We'll see how the weather does here in Texas. So I'm going to raise my sleeves up. I don't want to get paint on this pretty sweater. And we are going to paint to start. Okay. It's a beautiful day in Florida, Linda. That's awesome. I know, Audrey. I think sometimes Fridays, sometimes I'm at like exhilarated by Friday. Like I'm like, oh yeah, we're getting to the weekend. And I just think my travels and all the things, I think it's just caught up with me. All right, well, let's get to painting here. I am going to use the color called Vanilla Frosting, if you're curious. And again, wanted to use something, oh gosh, let's see if I can get this thing open. I wanted to use something, does it have a thingy on it? Oh, I see what happened. I sometimes use, I'm not very good about cleaning the edges of my jars. Are you guys? Can I get this open? All right, let me see if I have another jar over here that I can actually get open. I might have to bang it. I'm not very good about cleaning my jar lids. You want to try to open it? It's hard. It was one of the ones that had kind of spilled out.
I think I need to bring you a new one.
And she says I have lip gloss on my teeth.
Is it new? No, let me get you a new one.
She can't get it open either. Oh my gosh. Okay, she's going to go get me another one. This is what happened with this one. It kind of spilled out in transit. And if that ever if we have a jar that busts in transit, well, I just use it. I use it in the studio. But I think this paint has hardened and we cannot get it undone. So she's going to bring me another one. Thank you, ma'am. Perfect. Okay. She brought me a fresh one. Yeah, usually what I do is run them under hot water and that helps. But I just hate for, whenever we get one that's damaged in transit, I try to make use of it if I can because, it's good paint. We just can't sell it. And sometimes things happen, in transit. You never know what could take place. All right, let's see here. Let me grab a wipe. Clean off my scissors. Yeah, hot water will work. I just don't have time to run back there and run hot water on it. You have an opener under my cabinet for my paints. Oh, like a pop opener thing. All right. Well, here's my color. Beautiful vanilla frosting. I do need an apron on, but I'm going to be extra careful. It's okay. I'm going to be extra careful. All right. I'm going to change my screen, gals, so that you guys can see better what I'm doing here. And I'm going to go ahead and start painting. And I love this vanilla frosting is a little bit more of a warm white. It's not really creamy. I wouldn't call it creamy. If you did want to use something more creamy, the color I would recommend using is called Cheesecake. Vanilla frosting is really just kind of a warm, like an antique white. That's a good way to think about it. A little bit warmer white, a little more antique white, not so stark. And I think it'll be really pretty for these particular napkins. And I'm curious about you guys. We did a little post here about, I don't know, I guess it was a couple days ago about, welcoming February and what you were excited about February. And I was surprised how many people have birthdays in February. There were a ton of birthdays in February. Are any of you February birthdays? I'm a March birthday. And this year we have a leap year in February. Margaret, the heart itself, the heart is, I believe it's $9.99. And then we're gonna gift you. We're gonna spread some love today, since this is February. I always think of February as the love month. And we're gonna gift you the little mini napkin bundle that we're using for. We're gonna gift it to anybody that purchases a heart. So you might want to. You can wait and see. You're gonna see it come together right now, and then you can decide if you want one. And I think this project is going to be great because this is, especially with this phrasing on it, right? Here's to love, laughter, and happily ever after. To me, that's a great way. That's such a great saying to celebrate love. This could be something you could put out and have out all the time. This is something that you could use as even like a bridal shower gift, a wedding gift, an anniversary gift, anything like that, anything that kind of celebrates love. And I don't need to have two. I'm just kind of filling in here a little bit, and I don't really think I may not have to do more of a coat than this. I would recommend, if this is going to be a gift, for sure, make sure that you paint the back. I don't think I'm going to paint the back right this moment. And let's go ahead and dry this paint, and then I may do one more quick pass. Yep, see, there's those February birthdays. Well, happy birthday to all of you celebrating a birthday or an anniversary in February. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Let's take a look at it up closer. It still has a couple little wet spots, but I don't think I'm going to need to put on another coat. So I'm going to go ahead and put my paint away. Let's try it just a little bit more. Now I'm going to take a little bit of sandpaper here, you guys. This is just a little square of sandpaper, or if you have like a sanding, block or something like that that you can use. I kind of like sandpaper for this because it's a little bit more, it kind of wraps a little bit more better around my finger. I'm going to wrap this kind of around my finger, and I'm going to take this sandpaper right along these kind of shiplap valleys here. I just want to add a little bit of distress. Doesn't have to be a lot, and I'm going to go both directions when I do this. I want this to kind of have a little bit of a vintage quality to it. So I'm going to do some sanding. And the other place that's nice to kind of do some sanding is going to be around the edges. And I would say if you're doing this, if you decide to get a heart and you're doing this, just do it to the level that you like, right? Some of us like things a little more distressed. Some of us, you may want to leave it nice and pristine and clean. But I think it's going to kind of add to the look. It's going to be dusty. It's going to kind of add, can you see kind of the distress in there? It's really going to add to this kind of vintage look that we're going for today. I have a baby wipe here, and this is really just to kind of clean off all the dust, especially if you use chalk paint like I do. You'll have a little bit of dust to clean up. Okay, so I really like that. And you can kind of see some of the areas. I'll kind of point out the areas where it stands out the most. But just a little shabbiness, right? Just a little shabby. And I think that looks really pretty. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is this next step where I'm just going to go in. Think about it like the roadways. I'm going to go in and I'm going to sand over the roadways on this heart. And it's going to give it a really nice kind of a velvety smooth feel. And again, we're going to have dust. And we're going to wipe that off. I mean, it's going to feel just, oh, so smooth. Just beautifully smooth. And what's happening is it's really what we're really doing is we're buffing out all of our brush strokes. Okay. That's really, in a sense, that's what we're doing. We're just brushing out or sanding down. Buffing is a good word for it, but we're just getting rid of our brush strokes, adding a little bit of distress. And I just think it looks so, so pretty. Oh, is it somebody's anniversary today? Well, happy anniversary, Debbie. And you have a Valentine's granddaughter, Marlene. Well, that is awesome. Tell her I said happy birthday. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move on now. And I'm going to go to, I've already cut this square out. This is one of the napkins you're going to receive if you purchase a heart today. It's just a free gift. We're just spreading the love as we welcome February in. So you can kind of see here, I just love the font. I love the gold. I just think it's so pretty. And so my plan is to put it right up here in this kind of corner of my heart, this kind of area right here on my heart. So I'm going to be really cautious and careful when I do this. I'm actually going to cut right between love and laughter. Okay, I'm cutting right between love and laughter to start. Love is going to go up here, right in this top shoulder of the heart. And if you want to use your scissors to kind of, to cut around some of this, get some of the excess paper off, you can. It's just going to blend in. But it does keep us from having to sand so much, on the edges. Okay, so I think everybody can see that really well. I'm going to go ahead and remove the ply. Now, when we remove the ply, there's a couple different things you can do. I do lick and stick on my fingers. But you can also put just a little tiny drop of Mod Podge on your fingers and tap it together. And this is a 3-ply napkin, you guys. So that means we need to take off 2 plies. All right, to get to that top one. So make sure you take off the 2 plies. So here's to love. We're going to make this fit right into this little shoulder. We'll call it this shoulder of the heart. So make sure that the S in here is going to be, on the wood. We're going to just put it on there the best that we can. And now we've got laughter and happily ever after. Now, what's going to go over our little line here is going to be this kind of swirly thing. So I'm going to go ahead this time and I'm going to cut right underneath ever after. Okay, right underneath ever after. So my swirl is going to be cut off. All right. Same thing again. I don't really like straight lines on the edges. I'm just going to kind of cut around this a little bit. Love and laughter is going to go right there. And then we'll decide if we want to keep the swirl. I actually do love the swirl. We'll either keep it right underneath it, or we might use it somewhere else on the heart. We'll just kind of see. So I'm going to put the swirl kind of to the side for a moment, and we're going to focus on the words. All right, we're going to focus on the words. Let's go ahead and remove these plies. I know, Brenda, I'm so glad that Groundhog Phil, Poxitani Phil, did not see his shadow. I love spring. I'd love to have an early spring, and especially this year because Easter's earlier. Thank you for sprinkling, Sherry. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now I can't get my Mod Podge open. What's wrong? Did I just lose all of my strength? Goodness. All right, I'm going to have to whack this. All right, I hear it. Oh, there it goes. I think my trip just sapped me of all of my strength. My goodness. All right, here we go. Pouring in some Mod Podge. And again, I'm just using Mod Podge Matte for this, which is the yellow label. Yes, I did. Thank you. I got it. All right, let's go ahead and work on this top portion of our heart. Here we go. So just putting this Mod Podge right here. Now we'll be putting it, we're going to be doing other things to this heart, but I really want to get our words on here first. So that way we can kind of create around everything else. And I'm going to make sure that S is in there. There we go. All right, so I'm just kind of tapping things in place. I'm going to use a piece of plastic wrap, plastic sheet actually, to go over this. We're going to smooth out any wrinkles. And sometimes words are hard. Sometimes you're going to get little wrinkles. You're going to get, where, because the thing is, the tissue can kind of stretch a little bit. And I'm going to just kind of take my thumbnail right down that little valley right there. And I'm going to show you something. This is what can happen. Right here. This is what can happen. Do you see my hairs? Do you see how it does not look straight? That happens sometimes. Sometimes the napkin kind of stretches. That's why we have to be careful in the very beginning not to use too much pressure. But I want to show you what I do if this ever happens to me. This is what I like to do. You can either use like, and we're going to do this before this is totally dry, very lightly, because I don't want to create any kind of like a score line or anything in my wood heart. I'm going to go back to that, to the baby wipe here. And we're just going to clean this right off. Just the part we need to clean off. Sometimes you can just do it with a baby wipe. Sometimes I have to just do a little light scoring just so it doesn't pull any of the rest of the napkin, right, as I'm cleaning it off. So this is one thing I love about napkin art. It is so forgiving, you guys. It's so, so, so forgiving. All right, we're just going to clean. It's like an eraser, right? We're just cleaning that right back off. Okay, that's gone, right? It's gone. It's a little bit wet from the baby wipe. Let's dry it. And then we're going to cut it. We're going to cut that word from another piece, okay? We're going to cut that word from another part of our napkin right here. That's why it's good to have these extra squares of your napkin, because sometimes we have to do a little bit of repair work. And it's nobody's fault. It just happens sometimes. All right. Very easy to clean that up. Let's take off our plies. Don't forget that. All right, and now let's put it in place. And this is also something that, you know, sometimes, like if you can't get a napkin to fit, or words, you know, like this one has several words. If you can't get all the words to fit exactly where you want them to fit, you can always just cut the words apart and put them back where you want them to be. So now we're going to do, let's make sure we get that S on there. All right, and we did, yay. So when I do patch up work like this, a lot of times instead of going back with the plastic, I will just come in with my pounce brush. That's just a natural bristle brush, and I'm just going to kind of pounce in place. Oh, that looks like an eyelash. Instead of putting the plastic wrap back over. And look, now we're good. Okay, so it is important to know it's really easy. And like I said, if it's a part of a napkin that I can just take my baby wipe off and just kind of clean it back off, it's just taking off that tissue. If I'm worried it's going to pull the rest of the tissue, I mean, very, very lightly, you can just make a little bitty, just kind of like a little score line. You're barely touching it with like the edge of your scissors or a craft knife. You don't want to cut into your surface. You're just kind of cutting through that tissue, and that way when you clean it off, it doesn't pull the rest of the napkin. All right, so that's just a really good little tip. And those are the kind of things that, you know, you don't always learn. So I'm kind of glad when those things happen, because you need to see what we do, right? Like you need to see what I do when I have an oopsie. And we all have oopsies. Trust me on that. It happens to everybody. All right, I'm going to go down and put the other portion of my napkin on here. And it's just going to kind of get centered right here. So again, we're going to tap. Be careful not to just kind of tap, tap, tap. Be careful not to try to move like that, because that's when that napkin can kind of, and let's start in the middle. Gently. There we go. Sometimes if we get too aggressive with it, the napkin can kind of stretch, and that's when words get distorted. All right. Beautiful. I love this saying. Okay. And as I mentioned, I'm going to wait on the little, until I'm sure where everything else is going to go. I may decide to use it somewhere else, cut it up and use it somewhere else. I don't know yet. I like to dry it just a little bit before I put the top coat on. Make sure it's dry so it doesn't move on me. And we're going to go ahead and I'm going to put the top coats on these as I go. That way areas can be drying while we're working on other spots. Perfect. Okay. The screen looks fuzzy. Aw. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. Is that better? Is that better, guys? You hear my voice telling you to tap, tap, tap. That is good. right. Does it look better now? Does the screen look better now? Okay. Well, the next thing we're going to work on is going to be this beautiful rose. And I've already kind of thought like what needs to go underneath, where I'm going to put things. And so this is the part that's going to go on next for me. So I'm going to come in and do just a little bit of specific cutting here. Let's see, I'm going to leave that part. I'm going to leave the rest. Okay. So I want you to see kind of how I plan to put this on. I like this postal mark right here. I love this postal mark right here. I love this one too. Now, some of these may get covered up by what we're going to do next, but I'm going to at least try to get, like I like this that says postcard. So I'm going to kind of angle this on here the best that I can. I'm not sure. We may wind up losing some of this right here. So that makes me want to do this. If I know I'm going to lose, because you guys don't know, I've already planned out where I want to put these napkins. So I'm thinking I'm going to cut those little areas off. Okay, I'm going to cut those little areas off. And that way I can use these where they're actually going to show. Okay. All right, here we go. Now this one, because I am using such a big portion of the napkin, I'm just going to sand off the edges when I get done. All right, let's get those plies off. I love this rose. It is my favorite rose. It's so pretty. Oh, it's so pretty. So just to repeat, we're spreading the love today. We're celebrating love. It's February now. So everyone that purchases this lovely shiplap heart is going to receive the napkins I'm using on this beautiful project. It's like a little love mini bundle. And we will throw that in with your purchase. All right, so I have my Mod Podge all down here. I'm going to kind of play with this because I love that kind of postcard marking right there. So be really light when you're laying things down as you're trying to get, the things you want to see. Okay, I think that's pretty good right there. All right, and again, just going to kind of tap, tap, tap. The reason I'm using the plastic sheet is that is my favorite thing to use when I'm on a smooth surface. When I'm on a smooth surface, it's just, to me, it just looks the best. And I'm starting with this beautiful rose here first. Just kind of using my fingers to burnish this down. I'm using kind of the fatty part of my fingers. Beautiful. And again, I'm going to take my thumbnail through that little shiplap valley there. And we're going to gently peel this back off. So pretty. Isn't that pretty, you guys? Oh, I love it. Now, don't worry about this part down here. I'm going to show you. We still have it. What we're doing today is we're collaging. We're going to have a lot of different kind of things on this heart. That's one of my favorite things to do with napkins is use it to create beautiful collage art. And that's exactly what we're going to do. You can see that I missed a little corner down here. You can usually tell where you missed as you start drawing. And see how I was able to get postcard on there. I have a little bit of the postmark right here. Really pretty. All right, now I'm just going to sand away this excess tissue. Get right down there deep into that part of the heart. Look how pretty that is. Isn't that gorgeous? I love it. All right, let's go ahead again. And I'm going to go ahead and put the top coat on, just kind of doing that in areas as I go. And we're going to work our way down this beautiful heart. And we're going to start using another napkin. Okay, now the next napkin I want to use is this one. This one, I just love this napkin because this is what drew me to this napkin. I love this floral border. Obviously, there's lots of pretty elements to the rest of the napkin, but it's the floral border that really drew me to this napkin. Okay. And you're going to have, when you open this napkin, those of you getting the bundle, you're going to have multiple, right? Because of the multiple squares in the napkin. So I did a little pre-cutting on this so you wouldn't have to, let me move these up here. I don't want to lose those little postal marks. Okay. I did a little pre-cutting on this. So I unfolded the napkin and I kind of cut all the way along. There's a little bicycle if you want that. There's butterflies, there's birds. It's just really cute. And my plan is to have this going kind of right here, right along this part of my heart. What do you think? Tell me what you think about that. I think it looks really pretty. I like it. So that means I'm going to go ahead and just kind of cut there. I may wind up using that on something else. Wouldn't that be pretty on like the bottom edge of card or something? I think that's so pretty. All right. Just loose fussy cutting. I want you to see that I did not cut right on the images. I just kind of bubbled around the top because it's going to just blend in, right? It's going to blend in with my paint. Now we're going to put this on top, and there's one thing we need to look at here, and it's going to be this green right here, right? What's it going to look like? Is that green leafy stuff going to kind of show through there? And it is a little bit. It may be hard for you to see, but it does show through. This napkin's going to get even more transparent. So this is what I do. If I'm collaging something and I realize that something underneath is going to show through, then I'm going to grab just a little bit of paint and I'm going to add that back, whatever color you painted your heart, right? I'm going to add that over this part. And that way it just kind of mutes it enough to where it's not going to come through my napkin. Sometimes you're painting over a lot. Sometimes you're just touching up a little, but it's a super easy fix. Okay, super easy fix. Now we have to dry the paint. That's important. You need to dry the paint before you put the, I thought this would be pretty around the base of a candle too. I thought that could be really pretty. We're going to dry the paint up before we put on our Mod Podge. Are you liking the look so far? I hope so. And while I'm doing this, I want you to know that we messaged our wait list for the Napkin Club, and I think everybody that was going to sign up has signed up. But for any of you watching right now that would like to learn more about napkin art, we have secured extra napkins so we actually have a few spots open. So if you're interested in getting a unique variety of napkins every single month and being put in a private Facebook group to learn all about what to do with those napkins, learn techniques and make projects and all the fun things, we'd love for you to join us in the Napkin Club. Cheryl's going to post an invitation link for anyone that's watching right now. We want to spread that napkin love with you. All right, so now let's see. Remember, I'm thinking about right here. I want this little bird can kind of be right there by that A. All right, now I'm going to be kind of, again, gentle, 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 gentle. Took my pliers off already. That is so pretty. But we'd love for you to come and join us. Come and join us. The bundle you'll be getting first is Egg Hunt. We're jumping right into Easter because Easter is coming early this year. And those bundles are going to ship on March 6th. I'm sorry, not March 6th, February 6th. We'd love to have you join us. All right, look how pretty that is. Oh, I love it. Okay, I can see the little Shiplap Valley. Again, I'm going to take my thumbnail through it, or you could use a toothpick or whatever. Just want the napkin to really get down into that valley. Right here too, it kind of goes through the bird, goes a little bit through the butterfly. Oh, that's so pretty. Beautiful. I know, right? It's going to be gorgeous. So if you like this kind of, I just think this could be so pretty. Like I said, a decor piece for yourself to have out. You know, you can put it out at Valentine's, maybe have it in your bedroom next to, do you have like your wedding photo somewhere, or just a picture of you and your partner, your spouse? So pretty. Your grandparents, your parents. Great for bridal, anniversaries, weddings, all the things. All right, I'm going to sand off the edges. So pretty, right? Let's just take a peek at what we got going on so far. Okay, now we've got a little portion of our heart down here that needs a little something as well. So we got to decide, what is that going to be? I could have turned this over, right? We could like match that part up, but I want to do something different. So I'm going to go to this napkin right here. Now, this napkin is awesome because it's just got lots of different things on it, right? It's got some postal markings. It's got some beautiful script writing. It has this little part that says eternal love. This one says love story, which I really love that love story. That's really pretty. I'm going to actually use that. So love of my life is on here. There's just some really pretty kind of markings and things and fonts and things that look like stamps and things that look like postal markings and flowers, and there's a crown. There's all kinds of things on this. This is like a great napkin for collage type art. All right, so I'm thinking this little love story looks really cute right here. And I like the little bit of pink. Whoops, you can't even see it. I'm sorry. Let me raise this up. I like this right here. I like that it says love story. I like the script writing. But there's lots of things on this that you could use in lots of different places. So on this one, I'm going to actually pressed it out with my finger so I could see where to cut, because I may use some of these other things and I don't want to sand through them. All right, like that crown. There's that eternal love, love of my life. Beautiful. The flowers are gorgeous. It's all so pretty. So this is what I'm going to use. Okay, that's the portion I'm going to use, love story. All right. In the Napkin Club, I generally go live on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. That's my live time that's dedicated to my Napkin Club people. And we just have the best time in there. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and put this on. I know I did not put my top coat on that. I'll do that here in just a second after we get this piece on. All right, I'm just going to layer it down. And again, if I need to sand off some edges, I can. Pretty, pretty, pretty. How do you get rid of the part of the napkin that has the texture on it? It honestly, it just disappears when you press into it with the whatever your medium you're using, Mod Podge. That little texture just goes away. It literally just disappears. So you don't have to worry about that. You can still use that texture, that it kind of embossed part of your napkin. It's not going to hurt a thing. So pretty. I'm going to dry it a little bit. I do need to sand just a little bit on the edges. And then we'll do a top coat over this portion. And then we're going to start looking at other things that we can add. Pretty. Okay. All right. Just want you to see that up close. Isn't that pretty? So we kind of have the sections going on. We're kind of creating this beautiful collage. I think it's lovely. Let me, oops, hang on. There, I'm going to bring it back in just a little bit. All right, let's get our top coat. We have to have a top coat. We want to secure, we want to protect our napkins. But we also, having the top coat on makes them even a little more transparent. And then they will be sealed. So if we do decide to do any pen work or anything else on top of the napkin, we don't have to worry that the napkin's going to try to absorb. So if you like what I'm showing you, you should come join us in the Napkin Club. All right, now that's got to dry. Okay, so while that's drying, let's think, like, what else could we possibly add on here? Remember, we have the other postal markings, and I'm kind of thinking, like, you know, maybe where they're kind of halfway on, halfway off, maybe we put one, you know, maybe here. That looks pretty. I just love these postal markings. I think they're pretty. Ooh, we could even put one like that. That looks good. All right, let's see where we want to put these. I'm going to kind of go around them in a circle because it just helps me visualize a little better. We could even put one right there, kind of in the middle. I'm going to put this one over here. I'm going to put it right here. And then also, I want you to look on the napkin that we just used that has some really pretty things on it. It has more words on it, the crown, this one. This would be a great one to look for little extra pieces that you want to add in. Oh, I was going to put it up here, I think. So we want it to look like part of the collage. So that means it's totally okay for it to go part on, part off. This one, let's put this one over here. Now we don't have to paint underneath these, right? Because there's nothing that's going to make them, you know, that's going to show through them, that's going to look, you know, make it look distorted or anything. Beautiful. Just use a little corner here. And then again, if it goes over that shiplap valley, make sure and take your nail or your toothpick, something through that little valley. All right, so we just added on those two things. Let's see, what else do we like on this? That love of my life is cute. Now, some of this stuff, just so you know, it's kind of made to look a little bit blurry. You can read it, but it's made to look like a stamped kind of image. But I think that looks really cute. So let's find somewhere to put that. Let's see if I got both plies off at the same time. Don't forget your plies on these little pieces. I think I'm going to do it right up here. Pretty, 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 pretty. All right, I feel like we need something kind of right here. What do y'all think? Maybe the crown? I don't know if I want a crown on it. Let's see what else we got. Choo, 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 choo. Oh, look at that little postal mark with the heart. That's cute. Oh, these are pretty. Okay, I kind of like these. Let me get into here. There are some little rosebuds. Let me cut into them here. So I could add on like a little rose, another little rosebud coming off of that leaf, maybe. Let's just see what I think that's going to look like. I don't think it has to be that much. I think I'm just going to do one. I need to be using my little detail scissors, but I think they're on the other table. This will work. All right, let's see how this looks. I don't know now. Now I'm second guessing myself. That's what I'm gonna do it over here. Let's do it like it's kind of coming up out of these flowers right here. That's better. I think that looks better. It draws a little bit of the roses over onto this side. Pretty. I almost think, let's see. I do like this little thing here too. I don't know what this is. This little design here. This could just look pretty kind of in the background. Let's see what this would look like. Can you ever put too much Mod Podge when you're pinning it over and over? No, not really. No, you really can't put too much. Sometimes if I have done it, like I've done it here where it was kind of in layers, sometimes I'll just make sure it's really good and dry, and I'll do one final coat just to kind of even things out. This just looks kind of like a piece of wallpaper background or something. I don't know. I'm not sure if I like it or not. Let's see. If I were to cut it, let's see what it would look like on each side of the leaf. All right, so if I put a piece of it here, and then let's see, I need to cut that more like this. Do you see what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to make it look like the background. So I'm cutting it to where it's going to be on either side of that leaf. Does that make sense? Can you tell? It'll look more kind of blended in, I think, when it goes down. But again, these are the things that you just kind of have to look at. Like, what do I want there? Or do I want anything? I may not want anything. I don't want to clutter things up too much. Maybe that's what I go to. I do kind of like the crown. So, and there's also a pink heart. Actually, the pink heart might look cute just kind of floating in there. I think the little crown emblem is pretty. And so like my little crown emblem could even come down here, right? That's cute. Here's a heart. Oops. And then don't forget I have some flowers, right? Dimensional flowers. I bet you guys forgot about those. So even if this heart is kind of right there, it could just be right there by laughter, right? It could just be wherever. We're just kind of filling in some gaps. If it's easier for you to add this, like figure out your flowers, if you're even going to add flowers, it's pretty just like this. I'm going to go ahead and add the crown here. And this is dark enough. I'm not going to paint underneath this, I don't think. I think I'm just going to leave it be. It's kind of pretty up there where it kind of comes off the edge. I'm going to put it down here. Pretty. Okay, let's stop with any more napkin stuff until we look at possibly adding a few flowers and ribbon. You'll get the hang of it, especially the more that you work with napkin art, you'll get the feel for it. It's just one of those things that sometimes, you know, we just need some practice. We just need some practice. So maybe when in the beginning, when you're first working with napkin art, pick up some of those, like the little canvas boards. Y'all know what I'm talking about, the little canvas boards like at Dollar Tree, the dollar store, and just play, just practice. That's how you'll kind of learn. You know, some of us have more pressure in our hands. Some of us have very little pressure in our hands. And so it just takes a little bit to learn working with the plastic sheets, working with the pounce brush, you know, all of those things. Okay. All right, let's go back. Okay. So I'm going to just kind of tuck some of this stuff away. You're going to have plenty of stuff to play with. We do still have the gold little swirly here. And I do like the little accent of more gold on this. I could see maybe putting a little bit down here. So I'm going to put that kind of to the side. And let's think about adding some dimensional flowers. All right. And I know this part is kind of, you know, for some of you, you're going to love this part. And for others of you, you're going to be like, no, it's too much. I don't want to add in anything. And that's okay. Let's see. I kind of like this pink. Some of my flowers are more dimensional. Some of them are flatter. I like having kind of a mix of both. Let's pull some things in here to play with. And I kind of am really liking the cream. I like that cream there. I like how it brings in the gold right there. I usually get most of these flowers and things. You're going to find a lot of really good paper flowers in the scrapbooking section. And that's what a lot of these are. Look at these. These already have some pretty sparkle on them. So beautiful. See, I'm kind of liking that little cluster right there. And they don't have to go everywhere. This one might be a little big. Is this one smaller? I think this one's smaller. You just kind of have to play. Look at that. All right. So if you decide you want to add some dimensional flowers, here's the deal. I'll turn on my glue gun and get that ready. Make sure I'm plugged in. Okay. You don't want to overpower the whole thing with flowers. We just want to accent some areas. So to me, I'm thinking more kind of like down in this area, maybe adding a little accent, maybe something right in here, or even just in this one place. I am going to add in a little bit of ribbon, whether that be lace or ribbons or a combination of all of those things. So it's just kind of deciding, okay, what combination is going to look best. I don't want to overpower things. That's why I'm tempted to not use those really, really big, those great big flowers. I think I do need another flat flower down here. And this is something else you can do with the paper flowers. It's pretty easy, is we can actually cut them down. So if you cut under the top, we can cut them down. All right, let me show you kind of what's happening here. I have some flat. I have some that are a little bit more dimensional, and it's just to add that pretty dimension right here onto my piece. And I'm really kind of liking what's going on right here. So I think this is going to be what I'm going to put down first. Also, if you guys have a gold ink pad, like if you really like the gold and you want it to kind of, I don't know, if you just want to kind of accentuate it a little bit, you can go around and kind of add a little ink to the edges of your flower petals. If we just want to have a little more color brought out on them so that they're not so stark white. Also, you can ink around the edges of your heart. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And then, of course, we can sparkle anything we want to sparkle. And I'm going to bring this one kind of up and squeeze it. Yeah, I want it to be a little more dimensional. All right, let's see if my glue gun's ready. Okay, here we go. Just have to start, right? Sometimes we just have to start. I did not go, I went over every section as I was doing it. I do need to, I don't think I did over these, so I'll go back and do that. I'll go back and do that here in a minute. I just want to keep going because I don't want to take up too much of your time today on this Friday. All right. And I like to kind of, especially your dimensional flowers like this, we're going to kind of push them into each other. This one's going to be flatter. So let's slide this one in, not like that. And then this one, we're going to kind of push up into that little area right there. Okay. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Do you see how this isn't flat? This isn't flat. They're kind of pushed into each other. So when you look on from this side, when you look from this side, do you see we're kind of like made a little cluster, almost like a little cluster of flowers right there. I'll go ahead and do this real quick before I forget. I added that, I added that, I added that, and I added that. All right, let's try those real fast, and then I'm going to work on some ribbon. Thank you for reminding me. Now, Elizabeth, if you buy 2 hearts, it's by purchase. So if you purchase 2 hearts, you're going to get 1 bundle, just because you have the additional napkin art to do those 2 hearts. If somebody purchases like more than 4, we're going to give them 2 bundles. We want to make sure you have enough to create the amount of hearts that you buy. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. How do I keep my paper flowers from not gathering dust? I usually keep them in a bag, like a Ziploc bag. And I keep them, some of them, my more fancier ones, I keep by color in a bag. And then sometimes I'll even just keep them in the packaging, although the packaging does tend to take up a lot of room. All right, let's look down here for a second. I don't even really think that this is going to need any pin work. I think that it just looks beautiful the way it is. I don't really see a need to add anything other than maybe sparkle, if you want anything to sparkle. Okay, so let's talk about the ribbons I've chosen. I have some white here. I also have some like an ecru type color. I love mixing whites and creams together. I just think it's so pretty to do that. So I'm going to start just kind of pulling together some of these. And these are actually some scrap pieces. So some are white, Some look like this. Some are gold, which I love. I think that looks so pretty. I'm going to save the cording, I think, for the top. I've got a small one. Can anybody guess what I'm doing here? Yeah. Did you watch the last I guess it was a couple times ago, Craft and Chat, where we made tassels? I'm thinking about something hanging from this, kind of like that. Isn't that pretty? It almost looks like a bouquet. I think it looks really, really pretty. So I'm going to bring in this little tiny ribbon right here. Make sure it's somewhat even. I can always go back in and give it a little bit of a haircut. I'll measure these for you real quick. These were just left over from when we were making our beautiful tassels. I'm going to tie it off in a double knot. So it kind of looks like a tassel, right? It kind of looks like a tassel, just these beautiful creams and whites and golds and all of the things, but we don't actually have to use it as a tassel. We're just going to give it the appearance of a tassel. And I'm going to bring it in kind of right underneath these flowers. So I'm going to put in a nice little blob of glue. You could actually make a tassel if you want to make a tassel. And I'm going to take it and just push it up into those flowers. Into those flowers. And now we've got some of this, just this so pretty. So I'd love for this ribbon to turn over. Let's see if I can make it turn over. Put another little tiny drop of glue right there. And make that one turn over. There we go. Isn't it pretty? This year is wrong on the January napkins for sale. Oh, the year is wrong. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. I'm going to come along the bottom here and just kind of give it a trim. And of course, anything that you want to cut decoratively down here, you can. Okay, so look how pretty that is. So it almost looks like a little tassel kind of hanging down. To me, it almost looks like a bouquet, right? Like a pretty little bouquet. And if you want to, I mean, you could even incorporate in a little bit more. You know, sometimes you have little berry things and, you know, things like that. So if we want to put in something like that, I think that looks really pretty. It's at this point, it's just going to be about you. Like, what do you want to add? What do you not want to add? What feels pretty to you? Okay. I think that looks gorgeous. Isn't that pretty? And if you have any other little embellishments or things that you want to add, maybe you have some cute little charms or trinkets or something. And I didn't bring any of that with me today, but I'm going to look and just kind of see what else I have in my stash. And just kind of looking at my table here, because you never know what could be on the table. Yes, a key would be gorgeous. Do I still have my keys here, or did I take them home? I think they're at home. All right. Yes, I think I will add a key. I think a key would be gorgeous. And, you know, any kind of, if you have some beautiful ornate buttons or something like gold buttons, something like that could be really pretty as well. And it's really kind of up to you. Again, if you want to add more, you could add more. If you want to add another little touch of something somewhere, I think for me, if I'm going to add anything else, it's going to be a trinket or a treasure, which means like a metal embellishment, a key, a lock, you know, maybe a heart charm, something like that. Okay, now let's talk about how to hang this. And also, of course, you guys know you can go in and add some extra sparkle anywhere that you want to add sparkle. So as far as hanging it goes, I have this cording. I think it looks really pretty. It's like a gold and a white kind of twisted together. And so I thought, oh, this could be really pretty as a double hanger. So what I'm going to do is take the ends here, and y'all know how cording is. It always wants to kind of unravel. I'm going to turn this over. Now this is a wood heart, and like I told you, if it's going to be a gift, make sure that you paint the back. I'm just going to go ahead and finish this out. I will paint the back of mine, but I want to go ahead and get this done for you since it's already after 12. All right, so I'm going to put this down with some hot glue, but you're going to need to put something on top of it. I usually cut a little piece of lace. So let me show you what that would look like. Let's use this one right here. And especially if I've already painted this, then, you know, it'll look prettier. So I just cut a little piece of this crocheted lace, and I'm going to put it right on top. And that just helps secure it. And if this was painted white, it would look even better, right? If I had painted it my vanilla frosting. I just haven't done that yet. Let's decide about how, I like the double hanger. I think the double hanger is pretty. You'll have to decide about how long you want it to be. Cut that off. Put our glue down. And again, we're going to lay our pieces down into the glue. I'm going to cut another little piece of lace. Okay. A little glue on top. And then put this down on top of it. Your other glue is still going to be plenty warm to grab it. And it's just a prettier way when you can't really, you know, you don't necessarily want to put in like an actual, you know, a sawtooth hanger or something like that. We're going to make sure that that has plenty of time to dry. But isn't that pretty with the cording? I think it just gives it kind of an elegant, kind of a vintage, elegant look. I think it's gorgeous. All right. So let's go back to this screen and go in about like that. So I want you to be able to kind of see the whole thing here, right? Beautiful. I love this just kind of hanging down from the flowers. And it's something different than just putting bows on things. When you have your hangers up here, having two, somehow that just makes it feel a little bit more elegant, like jewelry almost. Isn't that pretty? I think it's so pretty, you guys. It's so pretty and sweet. Here's to love, laughter, and happily ever after. So if I'm going to add anything else to this, this is what it's going to be. I do really like kind of the gold accents on this. So if you do have like a gold ink pad or something, you can come in, and I'm just going to kind of rub in a little bit of this gold around the edges. Again, just as, you know, it'll be kind of subtle, but very pretty. It'll kind of catch the light. I don't know if you can even see it. Can y'all see it? I think you can kind of see it, but it's really, really pretty. So anything kind of metallic around the edges, any kind of sparkle you want to add, right? Any kind of sparkle. And of course, the way I like to add sparkle is through using stickles. Don't forget that even if your flowers do not sparkle, you can make them sparkle, right? So like if you want the center of something to sparkle, we can add that. I kind of like these little center, whatever these are, the centers of these, kind of adding some sparkle to those, right? You can add sparkle wherever you want it. I'm going to put some sparkle around this crown. So I'm actually going to do it around the crown instead of on the crown. Something different. See the sparkle? Isn't that pretty? Anything that you want to add sparkle to, even the word love. Look at the tip on this thing. It's really a nice little micro tip. So if you want to come in and just trace out your word, I think the sparkle is beautiful. So just fill it in. You don't have to put it on every single word, but I think having it on the word love would be very pretty. Let me add it, and then you guys can see if you like it. And you don't even have to be like all in the, you'll see the sparkle. Let's see if you can see it better on this camera. You see the sparkle in love? I don't know if you can or not, but I can, and it looks amazing. All right. Okay. Well, this is our project today. We're celebrating love. Here's to love, laughter, and happily ever after. I think it looks gorgeous. You guys, I will add a few little trinkets on mine and take some pictures for you to post here on my page so that you can see anything else that I decided to add. Thank you for hanging in here with me. I'm trying to keep these craft and chats not so long, but pretty things take time sometimes, right?